Okay, so starting standing, feet about shoulder width apart, and gentle turns. So let your knees be soft, sort of slowly turning the arms. And we're just getting a sense of how does the body feel right now. Doing some shoulder rolls with both shoulders back, forward, and then one shoulder and then the other. Leaning into it and keeping the knees soft so that the knees can take up some of the movement going forward. And just coming to stillness, sort of feeling the shoulders awakening. Moving your head up and down slowly. Just feeling that stretch. The front and the back of the neck coming to neutral. And then side to side, moving your ear down toward the shoulder. Letting the shoulders stay relaxed. And then neutral, and then turning the neck. So turning to look over one shoulder and then the other. And then turning the shoulders and the head. Slowly side to side. So there's a little bit more of this twist going down the back. And now letting the turn start from the legs. So knees, the hips, the shoulders, the head, slowly going side to side. Right, coming back to stillness and then letting the hips move side to side, sort of bending down with that. Letting the hips move in big circles. And really feeling this in this whole pelvic girdle. So feeling the low back, the back of the pelvis, the sacroiliac joint, just this whole structure. Coming to stillness, lifting one heel. Moving your foot sort of in circles, one direction and then the other. The other foot. Good. And then again, lifting one heel and pressing down into the toes. Just pressing down and then letting your weight sort of roll from the big toe to the little toe. And just another way to loosen up these joints. The other foot, all these little joints and muscles and ligaments are so important for balancing. All right, taking sort of a wider stance. And then bending one leg and then the other. Again, sort of leaning with this. Just feeling this stretch, bringing one arm up. And Just feeling this stretch and the whole side of the body. The leg, the side of the rib cage, the arms. And coming back with the feet about shoulder height, knees soft, bringing your arms up to shoulder height, and then reaching one side and then the other. And while you're doing this, pull your stomach in, pull your belly button in. And coming to stillness, kind of moving everything, seeing how the body feels, flapping your hands around, sort of moving in place, lifting one heel and then the other, your hands wide and fists. All right, and then bringing your hands behind the head. So you're not interlocking them, just hands behind the head. Imagine that you're standing up against a wall so that your hips, your shoulder blades, your head, your elbows, and then leaning to the side. And this is a slow move. Pull your stomach in, pulling the belly button back. Just feeling all of these muscles in the core working with this slow movement, coming to stillness, and bringing the arms in front of you. And again, with your knees soft, and bringing your hands, moving the hands side to side. And what you can do with this, and you can sort of play with this, if you do this and you turn your shoulders and your head at the same time, you're going to be engaging the muscles on the side of your body, the obliques, but you're also getting a lot of movement in the low back, which you may or may not want. Sometimes if your back especially is feeling very sensitive, now do this without turning your head. So keep your side ahead, so hips and head facing ahead. And what you'll notice is that there's not much movement here in the hips. This really isolates this to the obliques. Okay, we're strong. So shoulders up and back, bring your chin back, pull your stomach in, and we are ready to work out.
Oh my, okay. All right, let's get our heart rate up. Let's start with the butt kicker pull, push pulls. Get our heart rate up, get everything moving. Keep our posture in mind, our balance. Set the tone for the rest of the class here. 5 more seconds. 2, 1, shake it out, good. Now let's do some helicopter kicks. This is a little more stationary, but we're rotating our upper body and kicking to the front. Still planting that big toe into the floor to help with balance, keeping our belly button in and our glutes tight. Keep our core stable and posture good. 3, 2, 1. Let's go into a hinge and swim. Butt goes back, arm goes out. Then you're wide, push the hips forward, stand up tall. Do a few on your own. About 10 more seconds. Here's where I want your weight on your heels, okay? Lift your toes up ever so slightly to engage those posterior muscles. You're gonna feel like you're almost gonna fall back. You guys are in good enough shape to catch that and strong enough to let yourself not fall. All right, finish up there. Let's do our sit to stands, get our heart rate back up because we're using those big muscles of our thighs and our glutes. We'll turn side to side again. As we start warming up, you can be a little bit more aggressive in your intensity. That's all on you. 20 seconds is 20 seconds. I don't care how many you do. I want you to do them safely. And just be strict with form. Eyes to the front here. No reason to look down at the floor. That way you're just going to hurt your back. About 5 more seconds and then stay standing, please. Give yourself enough room to go back, front, side to side. We'll use those big muscles again to do our lunge complex, and we'll also get our arms involved. So a healthy step to the front, raise the arms there. Out to the side, same with the arms. Then flip the palms, step back and push back. Other leg. Go at your own pace, again. Shoulders over your hips as best as you can. I'm going to finish up one more leg, so you guys can do the same. And then let me know you're done. Yeah? All right, let's do some high knees and some turn downs of the forearms. So I'll show you this way. My elbows are up high, my shoulders are squeezed, my shoulder blades are squeezed. And I'm just going to turn down and lift up. Drive that knee up. We're using our lower abs. This is a good shoulder exercise for sensitive shoulders. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's move on to planks. Let's go lower body. We'll do our cross the center line one, staying on the same leg. So we're grounding the leg that doesn't move, the big toes grounded into a floor like a tree. Our hips are steady. Our eyes are gazed down if we're leaning forward. We're going nice and slow. 3, 2, switch legs. Shake it out a little bit. Lock those shoulders into place. We want to squeeze the pencil in our armpit. Press our palms into the surface. And breathe. Open up our hips. Activate our glutes. One more together. And stay up, okay? We're just going to do some patty cakes. Loosen up our shoulders. Our core is tight. Belly buttons up and back. Kind of breathe in sync with your movements as best you can. 3, 2, last one. Now walk it in. Good. About close to a minute being on your tight ab game. Back to lower body. We'll do mountain climbers. So we're going straight up, knee to wrist, right in front of you. And again, at your own pace. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. About 10 more seconds. All your weight should be on your shoulders. And for a split second, that toes that's on the ground. 3, 2, 1. Walk it in. Good, shake it out. We'll do our row bicep curl next. So we're alternating hands. So make sure you transfer safely, lock in the shoulders, pull back, straighten the arm, oops, and then your bicep curl, sorry. Switch hands, elbows go back, straighten the arm, curl it up. Really give those muscles a squeeze. When you contract them, they're gonna isometrically strengthen. That means we're not moving them with weights or anything. We're just squeezing right here. Squeeze when we go down. It's a good way to do a quick workout when you're just standing around. One more each arm, and we'll walk it in. All right, for lower body, we're gonna do our heel towards our butt, our hamstring curl, okay? So we wanna keep our knee steady, so you're hovering your foot up, bring it back slow. We're gonna stay on the same leg. And again, we're balling up this big muscle in the back right here under your glutes. Flex your toes, bring your toes towards your shin. Getting a little extra utilization of the calf muscle. One more and we'll switch legs. Good. Stay strong in the upper body, just because we're not moving it. Lock it in. One more together. Good, stay up. Let's go out to the side, then to the front. We'll do our L raises. Switch, out to the side, up to the front. Little coordination. Activation of your abs, definitely on this one because you're in motion on one side, so that side wants to be cold. Let's finish up on here and then walk it in. Let's go to bands. Grab your bands, have a seat. We'll do our leg presses, our rows, and then sit to stands. In that order, right? Keep some continuity to it. Hold the band tight, extend your leg forward, shoulders over hips, eyes to the front. About 5 more seconds here. Slow and steady. Get one more in, switch. Starting to feel the burn there after a few, right? 10 more seconds. 5. One more. And then we'll do our back rows. You only need one foot to do this, but I want the same posture of your upper body. Locked up, nice and tall, stacked over each other. Then elbows can go back, palms up. When palms go down, bring the elbows out. So flip your palms and keep your elbows close to your body. Flip them again, down and widen your elbows. So it's just a little flip of the palms and flaring of the elbows. Alternating. 5 more seconds here. Last one. All right, need both feet for this one. Same thing as the warm-up part with the sit to stand and the twists. We want it wide. The band's tight, keeping your arms at an L. Come on up strong. Lower yourself slow. Again, you don't need to look at the floor. Get in as many as you can in the next 10 seconds. And then we'll stay standing. 5, Last one, stay up. Let's take it easy on our lower body now. And we'll do our, let's do our diagonal chops. So you're gonna step on one end, feet are super wide, and grab the top. You're gonna bend down low and come up high, just like we do with the weights. If your band isn't long enough for this to be working for you, you can grab a light dumbbell or water bottle, or just do it with your body weight, palms together. 5 more seconds. 2, last one. Good. Switch it up. Starting low, butts down and back. Like I'm almost gonna sit down, okay? You really want all that power to come from the hips. Starting off with your feet, with your knees bent, straightening out. Arms stay straight the whole time, like you're cutting an X in half. 5 more seconds. 2, last one. Up. Good. Back to lower body, we'll do our hamstrings, we'll do our hinge again. So it's a staggered stance, challenging the balance, of course, keeping your band tight by your arms being in an L shape, the weights on the front heel, and you're digging down with that front toe, that big toe. Hips are going back, you don't have to go low. Five more seconds here. 1 more. Switch. Come up nice and tall. Lock those hips forward when you come up. Make it 2 separate movements. Five more seconds. 1 more time. Power it up. Good. Let's go to tricep extension. Okay. So we're just going to grab one end sort of in the middle and leave enough room by the end to straighten your arm. Keep your neck long, so your shoulders are going to have to be relaxed. Five more seconds. 2, 1, switch. Elbow up, shoulders down. Feel that squeeze. Remember, ball up that upper back muscle of your arm. Feet are wide, stance is strong, core is tight. You're breathing. 3, 2, 1. Finish up here. Let's get a little water break in. And we'll hit the weights, and I think Terry has an abdominal surprise for us, so we want to leave room for all that good stuff. We'll start off. Okay, we'll start off with the upper and lower. Okay. We're going to stay in a staggered stance. So get comfortable. Let me show you this way. Okay. Just like we did with the warm up. So shoulders are over hips. Get comfortable, get sturdy, dig those toes and heels in. One arm is going to be bending up to do a bicep curl. And then the legs are going to be bending to do your forward lunge. I don't care how low you go. Make sure the form is strict, the elbows are tight to your rib cage. You're bringing your arm down, your hand down slowly. Do your 2 or 3 count. 5 more seconds here. Then we'll switch. Last one. Good. I'll change my angle. Ground yourself. Ten more seconds. 5. Last one. Good. Have a seat. You only need one. You can use 2 if you want to go real light. You've all seen this one before. We start up on the chest, turn side to side, and then press out. So if you want to grab 2, start them off by your shoulders. Go straight out, not out and up, not by your forehead. You should feel those muscles that kick in when you're doing a plank on this one as you're pushing out. Let's go one more round of this. Good. Come on up. Hinge and upright row. You guys know this one. Right up the middle, zip the jacket. So weights on our heels, we're standing real tall. Resting on our thighs or our hands. Bend, powered up. Elbows come up about collar length, collar height, I should say. Not meant to do fast. Five more seconds. Let's get one more. Good. Back to the plank area. So notice this is mostly strength, okay? I'm hitting a little bit of everything, just in different modalities, okay? So we're gonna go back to the plank area. I'm gonna suggest that you bend your elbows and stick your knee out to the side so they meet. Remember the Spider-Man one? I'll show you the modified version first. It would just be like this. You don't have to bend your elbow. If you want to go a little bit advanced and try it on your own, it's a bend and a pull up of your knee. So your choice. You can try a couple, then go back to the plank. You don't have to go low and touch your chest to the table or chair. Just challenge those upper arms again and your shoulders. Five more seconds. Nice and smooth. Last one. Good. Let's get a good stretch here. Okay, chest and shoulders today, a lot of them. We've been doing a lot of legs on the other days, so. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Switch arms. We'll go into bicycles next. So we got a nice sit down core exercise. And then we'll stand up again for our sumo squat and press. All right, bicycles. Leaning back, you know the drill. I'll show you the more modified version first. One leg at a time, up and out. As you progress, hover both of them above the ground, and then kick them out. You can make it a high knee. You can just do your marches or something if your back's bothering you. Just keep moving. Focus on the core. Have fun with it. 10 more seconds. 5, 2, 1. Good. Let's shake it out. So this is a good stretch just when you're working the core and a lot of leg lungy movements. So just hang out leaning back. Palms to the sky. Just a little bit more for the shoulders we've been doing. A nice break in between. And then come up. Do it throughout the class if you want to. You don't have to do it when just me and Terry say. Our suggestions are for you and for your lifestyle and all that good stuff. Let's go lunges and rows. All right, we're going side to side. We're gonna go side, middle, pull back, side, middle, pull back. Got it? So we're staying hunched a little bit. Let me show you this version. Get your lunge in. Get steady, butt down, knees bent, then set up for the other side. Let's go 10 more seconds here. We're probably just now getting the hang of it, which is cool. New stuff. I'm gonna get this last side. And then wait a sec for you guys. Yeah. Okay. Here's another new plank. So get your bearing. Set up a perfect plank. Arms going to be hanging down to the side. Palms facing behind you. Straight arm press back, just like we do with the weights. Safely switch hands. Straight arm press back. Give it that little squeeze. A pause at the end. Safely switch hands. You should feel your shoulder blades come together. You want them pinching. Keeping the arm close to your rib cage. 5 more seconds. Let's do one more of each arm. Walk it in, set up the chair for a sit to stand and shoulder press. Big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. So your heart rate is going to come back up on this one. So give it your everything, do it safely, do it semi-rested. Hands are going to be at home, right here at your shoulders. Feet are going to be wide. Make them a little wide, make it the sumo squat that we've been shown. Stand up tall, lock it, press up, come together with the weights in the hands, slowly bring it down, then sit. Power up, lock it. Shoot those arms up, bring it back slow. Sit down. Perfect form. That's the name of today's game. When you're working with weights, you gotta be careful, right? When you're doing anything. But it's just that added stress of the workout that gives you that confidence in everyday life, like Terry was talking about earlier. 5 seconds. Let's do one more. Grab some water, and then we'll do it all over again. If you have a question, I don't know, make some noise or wave me down or something like that. So both weights are static lunges with the bicep curl is the first one. So remember, get grounded first, okay? Lock it in. As you bend your knees and go down, you're going to pull up on that one side that's open from your back leg. Eyes to the front. Hips are locked, knees are not. Let's go 5 more seconds. And then we'll switch. Okay, finish where you're at. Set it up for the next one. And down. 10 more seconds. Here's the burn. Here's where you make your gains in strength and endurance. 3, 2, 1. Finish it up there. Let's give our legs a good stretch. Have a seat. We'll get these bad boys. You can stand and do them also. Perfect. Thank you, Terry. Just try to get those hips forward a little bit so you get that extra stretch here in the flexor. 1 or 2 recovery breaths, and then switch it up. We're actually going to be in the chair for the next one, doing our side to side chest press outs. So a little bit of core, a little bit of shoulders and chest. Give our cardio a break, right? So grab your weight or weights. Edge of the chair, leaning back. Turn. Turn. Straight out. Nice and smooth. That's halfway. Let's do one more together. We'll break the rules of 20 seconds. Rebels. All right, come on up. Grab 2 weights. We'll do our hinge with upright row. Picture perfectly, right? Weights are resting on your thighs. Hips go back. Come up strong. Zip that jacket, not up here, just right here, even with your collarbone. Back down the middle, smooth, powered up. Weights on your heels. Get uncomfortable with that. Then it becomes comfortable. That's what training is, right? We'll go one more time. Boom. Let's do our yoga flow stretch next, okay? Sound good? All right, resting on our toes. You know how it goes, hips go back, little bend in the knees. Stretch those fingertips even. Let the belly sink, then power it up. Lock that belly even with the hips and shoulders. Now the hips go down, shoulders go back, eyes slightly up. Once again on your own. So heart rate should be coming down. Life is good. And then walk it in. We are going to hang out here for our little Spider-Man push-ups. How did you do on the last round? If you got to modify, that's fine. So that is when the knee touches the elbow. Whether you bend that elbow or not is totally up to you. I'm going to go a little bit lower here. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, finish it up. Good. We're going to have a seat and do our bicycles next. Give our shoulders a break, right? You know the drill. 20 seconds. Get to your happy place. Focusing on your breathing is sometimes a nice distraction. In through the mouth, out through the nose for a certain number of counts. There's lots of ways to get through this. 3, 2, 1. Good. Good. Let's do our side to side lunges with our row in the middle. Okay, I see if we can master this one this time. We do things similar to it, right? But we're gonna mix it up every now and then. All right, so we're gonna step out to the side, come back to the middle, stay a little hunched, elbows go back, stand up tall, down, powered up, little bend. So don't rush it, make each move intentional. Let me change my direction here. Down, middle. So see, notice my feet are sort of together in that middle part, and that's okay. You guys are strong and stable enough to do that. Because I know everything's tight, and you're not going to flop to the side. Let's go one more each side. Heart rate's up. We'll take our little recovery break. How about we stretch our, I like doing it on a chair, but you can do it on the floor too. Just a hamstring chest stretch. Terry, if you want to do it in the chair, thank you, ma'am. Toes towards the nose. Get those calves involved. Obviously, the butt goes down and back, almost like a hinge. Breathe it out. Good. Sink into it. Give your body time to let it sink. All right. We'll do our sumo squat. We'll do that last. Let's do our press backs. So back to the plank position. We'll flip our palms around. We'll squeeze that shoulder blade towards the middle, keeping our arm close to our rib cage. So let it hang. Press and squeeze. Safely switch hands. Meanwhile, all this is tight, right? Everything's still in alignment. Glutes are squeezed, core is tight. Eyes are neutral. You should be looking somewhat down. Toes are dug into the floor. Do a couple more each side. This is the new one. Plus it gives us a chance to recover for our last exercise. Good. When you're ready, walk it up. Grab 2 weights, edge of the chair, sumo squat, so super wide. Hands are at home. Power it up. Shoot those arms overhead. All right, eyes to the front. Go ahead. Let's do 30 seconds of these. So pace yourself. It'll be a little bit longer. But that's what gets us ahead of the game. 10 more seconds. Tuesday said this was a piece of cake, this workout, huh, Terry? Last one. Powered up. Boom. All right. I'll hand it over.
All right. So coming back to the chair or staying in the chair, and we'll just do a few different ab exercises before we start getting too cooled down. Okay, so in the chair, leaning back a little bit, we're going to bring our feet off the ground. So it might be one at a time. Bring your knee up and then straighten the foot. Bring knee up and then or straighten the leg. You can do it one leg at a time, or you can do them both. And maybe you put your feet on the floor between these movements, maybe not. You know, I find that If I have my hands right at the front of the chair, especially right under my hips or the top of my thighs, makes it easier. Right? Coming to stillness and just kind of feeling into these core muscles that we're using. Okay, now we're going back to these sumo squats. So with a wide base coming up, and then a side crunch down, up, side crunch, down, up, side crunch. And well, I guess the lucky thing is here I don't have my clock with a second hand, so I usually do these until the muscle feels like it's pretty tight. Oh, Dharma sighting. All right. And then stay in standing. Letting your breath come slower in through the nose, out through the mouth. But now we're just going to raise the foot to the side. One leg and then the other. If this is hard for your balance, then use a chair and stay on one side. Or use a chair in front of you and go one foot and then the other. And you can play with how much weight are you putting on the chair. Now maybe both hands, maybe one hand, but just really feeling, again, feeling this core work here. Right? Coming to stillness, right? Moving your hips around a little bit, bringing your arms overhead, and then be a slight arch in the back. And bringing the hands down. And now bringing one knee up, crossing the midline, and then either bringing the elbow toward that knee or just your palm. You bring the elbow toward the knee, you're going to get a little bit more twisting. If your back thinks, it's probably enough twisting for right now, then just bring your palm. So bringing some part of the upper body for this knee. And when you're practicing this at home, you can do straight leg, knee, straight leg, knee. That's just for you to do on your own, whenever you want. Okay, now again, with hands behind the head, knees a little bit bent, and slowly bringing the elbow down the side of the body. Like we were doing as if we were standing against a wall, but you're likely to feel that you can go farther. And just coming down to the side, and even in the beginning of the class, I didn't feel as though I had this much flexibility. Now I can feel the stretching and that the muscles have loosened in the side of the rib cage. Keeping your belly button pulled in. Coming to stillness. Feeling the body here. Back to helicopters. So here we're just working with the core, also with balance. You know, and with the legs, so. Anybody else is trying to clean up their yard for the brush and bulky. When you're balancing and getting your legs strong so that your legs can work more than your back. All right, coming to stillness. Bringing arms overhead. And then bringing the hands down so that they're below the level of the shoulders. Palms toward the ceiling. This is really soothing, not only for the back, but for the shoulders. And leaning forward a little, doing a little bit of a hinge. And again, just letting the hands hang toward the floor. Letting the arms or the hands move in circles. Again, a nice stretch for the shoulders. Coming back, using the chair to do our yoga flow. So from a plank, I usually take another step back. And let your hips come back. Let your knees bend and press your hands into the back of the chair. And now straighten one leg and then the other. And sort of sink into that. Now you're going to feel this extra stretching on the low back and the hip on that side. Coming to stillness, coming forward, sort of like we did with that Spider-Man. And then stretching the body, looking toward the ceiling, letting the hips come forward. If you'd like, pressing your heels back toward the floor. So here you're not only stretching out the core, but the back of the legs. Once again, letting your hips come back, letting your head come down, pressing your hands into the back of the chair, and then coming forward, straightening the body, and then coming into a slight arch. And walking it in from here. Just feeling the body. Now letting your hands come together in front of you, backs of the hands together, rounding into that. And then bringing the arms behind you, opening the chest, feeling the shoulder blades coming together, rounding the back, hands together in front of you with the backs of the hands, and really kind of stretching that, feeling that stretching along the spine, and standing up, letting the hands come behind you. All right, coming to stillness, looking up and opening your mouth wide. And then closing it. And as you close it, kind of jut your chin forward, opening and closing the mouth. Jutting the chin forward. And then, ooh, saying ooh. Bring the mouth together, pursing the lips. And coming back to neutral, You can just feel the stretching out all of these little muscles in the front of the neck. Muscles by the jaw. Bouncing a little bit here, not bringing your heels off the ground, just a little movement. Straightening the back, straightening the neck. The chin in, smiling. Acknowledging yourself for making the time to do this. Thank you very much.